Back here on CBS Sports HQ, we have a couple of preseason finales on deck. We have the Bears and the Chiefs in action on Friday. We know that Caleb Williams and the Bears starters will play in this preseason finale. As for the Chiefs, head coach Andy Reid told reporters this week that the starters will quote, start it off for sure, and then we'll see how it goes from there. So it is all going down on Friday at 8:20 p.m. Eastern time. And BMAC is back with us here to talk NFL alongside our other NFL analyst, Kyle Long. Gentlemen, the Bears and the Chiefs in a preseason finale. Extra exciting because we're going to get to see Patrick Mahomes for a little bit. And Kyle, I don't really know how much I need to see from him. Like, I'm good, but always good when we get to see Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yeah, 100%. You know, people like free football overtime. I say free Patrick Mahomes is great during the preseason, especially. Look, I mean, people got excited over seeing Caleb play last week for the Bears. Imagine the excitement seeing Patrick Mahomes in one of the most underappreciated teams and offenses in the NFL, the perennial Super Bowl contenders, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to get him out there. They're going to make sure everybody's in rhythm. I think a lot of this is about cadence, third down situations, blitz pickups. Obviously, they got some new faces out there with their left tackle, Josh Simmons. So this will be a good dress rehearsal, and it's full speed. So the bullets are live. The ball's got to get out.
Yeah, Kyle, I don't expect to see Pat Mahomes for an extended period of time, but maybe a first drive or so, one series makes sense. Get him in, establish that rhythm once again, the verbiage that needs to be there, because you got to remember, with the preseason being shortened now, teams will have a full week of being off. Now the luxury for Kansas City, remember they play in that Friday night game in Brazil, if I'm not mistaken. So they have an opportunity to get on the grass sooner than everyone else that will be playing on that opening day Sunday. But this is all about the rhythm. This has been the common theme for Andy Reid, you know, in how he handles his starters. Every starter named Pat Mahomes and whoever, you know, he loves to see them in preseason action, get in, get the rhythm going, and get out, drink you some Gatorade, some sunflower seeds, and get ready for week one against the Chargers.
And it's not just Patrick Mahomes, to your point, B-Mac. We're going to also get a glimpse of Travis Kelce, Chris Jones. So what are your expectations for these guys on the season, starting with Travis Kelce, B-Mac, who by his standards had a down year last season?
Well, there's air in the basketball, so it should bounce back. And that's what I expect to see from Travis Kelce, a bounce-back year, especially how the season ended for him in the Super Bowl. He didn't look like the Hall of Fame tight end that we've seen throughout his professional career. And he took responsibility on that, and he embraced it, and it became personal for him to bounce back and be in better shape to start the season so he can be at his best for his entire offense. So those are things that we've heard from Travis Kelce. This wasn't the offseason to celebrate like we've seen in years past. This was the offseason to get back to the basics, be in better football shape so you can be at your best, and that's what I expect to see from Travis Kelce from start to finish.
All right, and for those of you that are blaming Taylor Swift, we don't want to hear it. Time to move on. All right, let's talk about, Kyle, you mentioned it already with Josh Simmons, right? Because we know protecting Patrick Mahomes, that is priority number one. We saw firsthand in the Super Bowl, when you don't do that, that is what happens, right? And they use their first-round pick on Josh Simmons as hopefully their left tackle of the future, right? So in the limited snaps that we've seen from him, he's held his own pretty much, but how do you ultimately think he's going to excel at the next level come week one?
Well, the big red flag about Josh Simmons is obviously recovering from that patellar knee injury. And for an offensive lineman, it's such a point of emphasis, and so many things can go wrong with that knee. So we're happy to see offensive line appreciators like myself that Josh Simmons, the uber-talented Ohio State Buckeye, ended up being as advertised. The thing that I really appreciate about his game is his ability to mirror rushers laterally. So his ability to just be Velcro to some of these edge rushers, it showed itself early. The thing that I want to see from him is slow down a little bit. Some of my best veteran teammates that gave me advice about offensive line, they said less is more. You don't have to look frantic. You don't have to look like a cat that just accidentally went in the pool every time there's a rusher. Slow down, be a beast, let your freak flag fly. That's the advice I'd give this Chiefs O-line.
All right, I love the advice. Now, on the Chicago side of things, Caleb Williams and the Bears starters, they're also going to play in this preseason finale. So, B-Mac, what are you going to be watching for from these guys?
The same command of the huddle that we saw from Caleb in week 2 against the Buffalo Bills. I mean, the opening drive went 90-plus yards for a touchdown. He had command of the huddle. He knew exactly where to go with the football, and he was getting the football out of his hands. I think that's the biggest concern with Caleb Williams under Ben Johnson, Kyle, is the ability to work from within the pocket in rhythm-like throws, right? Because usually what we saw in year 1 from Caleb, when he got outside the pocket and started playing street football, he seemed to be at his best. But within this system under Ben Johnson, working from within the pocket is a necessity. We saw that with Jared Goff, and that's why that offense was able to flourish. And we need to see the same thing from Caleb based on the pocket presence. We saw that in week 2 against Buffalo. Can this become a common theme for his quarterback skill set, working from within the pocket? Because we know he can always get out the pocket and kind of get into that street ball element, but this offense is predicated from working within the pocket, utilizing the rhythm. Let's see, can he continue to do that for a particular one series? I don't need to see Caleb Williams more than one series, if that, in this ball game, but when he's out there, that's what I'm watching.
Hey, B-Mac, one thing I'm going to be watching that obviously we didn't get to see with Caleb Williams and the first team offense at Soldier Field last week is how about this offense operating in the silent count? Because when you're at Arrowhead, you and I both know it's very loud, hard to communicate. So for a young quarterback with a couple new pieces on the offensive line, it remains to be seen how they respond and if they're able to keep that rhythm. I was very impressed by Ben Johnson's ability to get the drive started, the game started for Caleb Williams in a rhythm-like fashion. They went fake run left, naked right, so he boots to the right. He's got one option, it's in his face. And then to your point, back foot hits the ground on a lot of these shotgun drops. The ball's got to be out. That's what we saw from Caleb Williams at home. Can they do it on the road?
All right, and Caleb Williams is going to have 2 new rookie weapons in Colston Loveland and Luther Burden. There's a lot of buzz around these guys. So, B-Mac, what are your expectations for what Ben Johnson has cooking up for these guys in this new offense?
Just the creativity. We already started to see exactly what Colston Loveland could be in this offense. And, of course, me and Kyle were there with the Bears at training camp a few weeks ago, and they just were raving about Colston Loveland. Remember, this is a player they selected at 10 at the tight end position, so he has a unique skill set, and we're already starting to see them implement this 12 personnel, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight end formation in their offense, where that could be an issue for defenders, because when you have 2 tight ends in an offense, most people would think you're running the football, but those 2 pass catchers in Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland can be outstanding pass catchers, route runners in the passing game as well. And we saw that 12 personnel surface a lot in that drive against the Buffalo Bills. And then when you look at Luther, I mean, the ability to change and redirect, I mean, the lateral movement, he could be that Amon-Ra St. Brown type of player within their offense as he continues to gradually understand the concept and be more in tune to what they do because of his athleticism. They did a great job in addressing quality needs in the draft, along with players that are ready to make an impact right now. I see that happening with Luther and Colston.
So the left tackle position has also been a hot topic of conversation, right? And they're hoping to kind of lock that up ahead of this season. And we're hearing that Ben Johnson is opening to maybe reevaluating the position, you know, somewhere in the season as well. Kyle, I'll come to you here. Who do you think should slide into that role and can ultimately give them the best shot of protecting that blind side for Caleb Williams?
Well, the first thing I want to say is Ben Johnson says he's going to reevaluate. They are constantly evaluating. B-Mac can tell you this. There is a cameraman dang near in your butt cheeks during every individual period. They watch every single rep you do in practice, every single rep you do in one-on-ones, team period, and most importantly, the game. So if you don't believe that all these guys are being evaluated and this 3-man tackle competition between Theo Benedette, Braxton Jones, and obviously the rookie Ozzie Trapillo, they are being evaluated constantly. And Ben Johnson said this thing may ride all the way into the season. We may get somebody who puts the crown on in week 3 or week 4. It's an open competition. And if you're not a Bears fan, maybe you don't know about this situation, but keep your eyes on that left tackle spot. That's what's up for grabs.
B-Mac, Kyle, we certainly appreciate it, getting us ready for the Bears and the Chiefs preseason game that's coming on Friday night and that preseason finale. And we got you covered here on CBS Sports HQ, whether it's the preseason, the regular season, the postseason. We have headlines, highlights, everything you need to know, and you can stream us for free 24/7.